Today I went down to my local store again and tried out some more expensive IEMs, and in today's video I'll be giving my thoughts on them to you guys. Let's just jump into the first one here, the Campfire Audio Dorado. Now the Dorado, to put it extremely nicely, was just not that good. The tuning of it is really bass heavy, like there's so much bass and it bleeds into the mid-range quite a bit. The mid-range, the treble, everything feels in the background in comparison to the bass. Now there is a signature like this that works really well. The Maestro Mini by Fat Freak also has a super massive bass, but it is well contained enough to maintain a natural feeling mid-range and treble area. The Dorado, on the other hand, does not have that. It has a lot of bass bleeding. So in the tuning department, it is just a no-go. And details, of course, you're not gonna find much either. Seeing that everything is in the background, the bass itself is really not that dynamic either. All in all, it's just one of those mess of an IEM that I've ever tried. And it's kind of disappointing because I love the Andromeda 2020 so much. And this is my second time running into Campfire Audio stuff. So I guess they all can't be good. Next one, we have another Campfire Audio, and this one was much better. Super impressive even. This one is the Campfire Audio Ara. The Ara's tuning, I would say, is actually quite alright. I would say it's mostly balanced for the most part. There is some good bass leading into quite a warm-ish lower mid-range onto a rather energetic upper mid-range. Now, the Pina gain on the Ara does start a bit early, so the vocalist and a lot of the mid-range instruments are gonna feel more center image, if you will. Now, some people love that style of imaging, while some people can find it a little bit congested. For me, I really didn't feel any congestion coming from the Ara. I thought it was quite nice and open, so the mid-range here doesn't bug me. Now, the upper mid-range is quite a bit uneven. I think that's the biggest problem that this tuning has. Other than that, I don't see much to fault with it. The treble is nicely done. There's quite a bit of extension. There's good micro details from the treble area as well. So yes, the upper mid-range really is the only area where you can find some unnaturalness, some unevenness that you can fault regarding the overall tuning. Now, what is really impressive about the Ara is not the tuning, it is the details, the soundstage, the imaging. It is all top tier. Now, not a Noli VX good. A Noli VX to me still is like a step above the Ara, but the Ara is no slouch. Probably in the top 3 most resolving IEM that I personally have tried. And the details were so addicting to listen to. The soundstage, the imaging, everything is just wide and precise. It was so addicting to the point where I almost didn't want to stop listening to it. Like it was really nice. Like I really enjoyed the Ara. In terms of my current favorite, I'll still say the Andromeda 2020 is still my favorite. The tuning on that is better. Technical performance, I would say, man, they're really close. The Ara, I feel like, has better details, but only by a small margin, but still better nonetheless. And for end game level stuff, you know, small changes matters because you're spending a lot of money. But yeah, my #1 favorite right now from Campfire is still Andromeda 2020. Next, we have the Sennheiser IE900. Now, this was super highly requested by just everybody who watched the IE600 video or watch any endgame level video that I make. And the IE900, I would say to you guys right now, if you have a library that consists of a lot of female vocals, consists a lot of higher instruments, flutes, woodwinds, you listen to orchestras, you listen to anything that requires an energetic upper mid-range and or treble, the IE900 sounds a bit dead. Not that it doesn't have upper mid-range, it does, but it feels really relaxed, really tamed. I mean, you have a lot of bass leading into a slightly warm lower mid-range, a nice Pina gain, but after that, it just feels like the energy just got sucked out. So again, if you listen to a lot of music that relies on the upper frequencies to be energetic, then the IE900 is absolutely not for you. In this case, the IE600, on the other hand, is much better. And I use the word much here Literally, it is really that much better than the IE900 when it comes to upper mid-range and treble area. Now, in the bass department, the lower end, I can make an argument that the IE900 is easier to listen to, maybe more pleasing to a lot of people. So if your library consists of more lower end instruments, bassy instruments, then yes, I can see the IE900 working for you. And also, if you want something more relaxing as well, the IE900 is going to be a better choice over the 600. Next, we have Vision Ear's flagship IEM, the Phonix. Now, this one has good details. I'll start off with that. It has good details, good soundstage and imaging capabilities. The one thing that it falls short in, as you may have guessed, is in the tuning department. This thing has a bassy signature. I would say slight V shape, but just bassy in general. The mid-range comes across unnatural and colored. It has quite a bit of warmth and boom to it, which makes male vocals comes across especially not that neutral or not natural at all. Their voice sounds a little bit too bassy than they should be. The upper mid-range and treble area, I would say, are quite well done though. The treble is well extended. Again, just the lower frequency here really hinder the overall correctness of the sound and the overall balance of it as well. I have on my notes here good details with slightly unfortunate tuning. Overall makes for a rather just average IEM. Now, it's not badly tuned. I don't want it to come across like that, but for that amount of money, you want better tuning. And last but not least, we have the Empire Ears Legend Evo. This is a favorite of a lot of people, and I'm here today to just rip the band-aid off really quickly because I have no way of sugarcoating this. The bass is a lot. It bleeds into the lower mid-range quite heavily. Male vocals comes across boomy. The upper mid-range and treble, I would say, is better than the lower mid-range, but female vocals still come across thin at times and maybe even a little bit sharp and grainy. The only real selling point of the Evo for me is in the bass. The bass is quite dynamic, it hits hard, and it has almost this real subwoofer effect to it that feels quite nice. So yes, if you love bass, the Legend Evo might be extremely satisfying to you. It is a guilty pleasure IEM, a bass head guilty pleasure IEM, and honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. Despite how harsh I am, there's really nothing wrong with that. If that's what you love, that's what you love. But for the price, I would want something a little bit more tastefully done, a little bit more correct, if you will. You can have a lot of bass, but the rest of the frequency range shouldn't suffer so heavily because of it. Oh yeah, forgot to say, details on the Evo is good. Soundstage is nice and wide. The imaging is just Alright, that is it for this video today. Thank you so much for watching. Keep in mind, everything that I said in this video is all first impressions. I only really spent a few songs with these IEMs, so for full thoughts, I really have to go back and test them out a lot more. But for some of these IEMs that have a glaring tuning problem, I would say my thoughts are gonna be largely the same, might change a little bit here and there. The IEMs that are truly hard to place are usually the good ones. Like, I really wanna go back and listen to the Ara. I want to see where the detail performance actually fall into in my overall detail rankings. But all the other ones that just has poor tuning or really poor tuning, those my thoughts will most likely stay the same. And with all that being said, thank you again, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, bye.